Welcome back to the show, everyone. We are very excited to have our next guest join us. And if you love recording, if you love old recording, this is going to be right up your alley.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Gently up your alley.
And to the kids out there, there's something called a record or an album that we're going to learn about today with Larry Hennessey, of course, of Jack FM, and also of Regenerator Records, joined by James Anstey, co-owner of Apollo and Regenerator Records. Gentlemen,
hey guys, how are you?
What are these records of which we are speaking?
Well, our latest project is the Kool-Aid benefit album. Kool-Aid was a kind of a hippie flop house.
Yeah.
Back in the late 60s.
In Kitsilano.
Of course.
Kids.
Yeah, that's where the
They
hippies
didn't
flop.
have hippies in Kitsilano.
Elmer Smalley, I believe, was the gentleman that ran it, and it was a grassroots thing. It wasn't a government thing. So it was like street kids, hippies, oh man, you know, we need a place. They would find places to live, et cetera, et cetera. Government finds out about it, City Hall, close it down. It's kids on drugs. So
Your Gregor Robertson is amazing, by the way.
put a bike lane through it. Now this is before putting a bike lane through it was going to be the solution.
So this guy, John Walsh, who was a UBC student, has this great idea to put out a record to help raise money and save Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So they made 1,000 of them. They became incredibly collectible. At times, you know, right now that's worth about $200.
Wow.
They have been worth up.
Manhandling.
Hey, easy with that.
So you guys find out about this project, first of all.
Jamie does.
And you want to sort of share it with everybody, because it is that beautiful snippet of musical history.
It is. It's a piece of history. It's 40 years ago, and you know, holding those original master tapes in your hand.
These are actually the multi-track master
I was going to
tapes.
ask what the process is. So you know about this, obviously, because you guys are incredibly knowledgeable about music, but how do you turn it into that?
Jamie finds the widow of James Walsh, or John Walsh, I'm sorry, Kirsten.
Kirsten Walsh, that's right.
Careful.
And she is a librarian, so she has these master tapes perfectly organized and has all this stuff, legacy. And,
Saved.
and we meet Kirsten. She's just a beautiful person. And these are actually the master 4-track tapes.
What?
Okay, so this here is a 2-track.
I'm currently unraveling one.
No, Fiona is wrecking history.
I know.
He's making
We'll
folk
deal
art.
with it.
So do you ever know what you get? I mean, you go and you visit her, James, but I mean, you take these home. Do you know? Can you look at it and be like, okay, the quality's going to be all right?
Well, you don't really know, but I mean, from our experiences, usually stuff pre-75 seems to be, you know, pretty good quality.
The older the better.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they changed the way they made the backing of the tape in the early mid-70s.
So it'll...
So it gums up. It gets very when you play it.
Yeah.
So there is a way to fix it by
That's
baking
the technical term,
it gets
right?
very, you know.
There's a
you
way of
bake
fixing
it.
me
You
by
bake
baking
You
it
bake
as well.
it.
These didn't have to be. These didn't have to be.
These are not baked.
No.
So,
Okay, so how do you get from this to what we've got here?
We take this on a 4-track machine, a different machine than this. We put it into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
The magic mixing thing. So then I mix it. It worked very hard. I'm balancing it all out, not remixing it in a style,
DJ style.
but mixing it.
but actually bringing the mix.
Right. So now we're hearing a lot more, bass, a lot more high end, and also lots of noises that they really couldn't control back then, and extraneous stuff. So we take all that out, and then after that, we put it into another program, a mastering program, and hop it up even more.
Okay, can we talk about R2D2?
you bet.
First of all, where the heck did you find this thing?
How hard is it to find the equipment that you guys need?
I have about 12 reel-to-reel machines. You have
19.
okay.
But,
yeah.
How
but no,
big are your basements?
Match made in heaven, too.
So it's the geeks. Okay, I'm 50. You're 30. This guy knows Vancouver music incredibly.
well, I just love it so much.
Phenomenal.
So tell us
I'm the
about,
geek. I'm the technical
tell us
geek. He
about
knows
this
the
one and
This is the Studer 810, which
Studer?
the German Studer.
Yeah.
CBC years ago did a big downsizing a few years back, and old technology.
They had a bunch of
rolled them out.
Studers.
Right.
So I made a deal with someone at CBC to get about a dozen of these machines.
What do we actually have on here? What is this recording?
This recording is the Stags.
Okay.
Stags.
The Stags. It was actually, we transferred it from this reel. Okay. So it looks like an old
Little
8mm,
yellow.
like a film.
It does
Yeah.
look like a film.
Yeah,
really.
just for safety. Actually, when we played it last night, it snapped. So I've got my editing equipment ready in
Can
case.
I-
You've got
Want
the
to see
glue.
it?
You're all
Yes.
ready to go.
Let's not go
Dr.
to
Larry is
tape.
in the house.
Tell us about the Stags, James. What do you know about these
Stags,
Stags?
Lloyd Manuel's the singer-guitar player, and he wrote this song. This was a demo. They went to Robin Spurgeon's studio in '66, I believe, or '67, and they recorded this tape and sent it to Apex Records back east. It was rejected by Apex. They sent it back with a fairly nasty letter, which I had at home. Saying
Don't just
you do.
reject. Be nasty.
Yeah.
yes, and by the way, your tape stinks. And so anyways, he's had it all these years, and he was moving and downsizing and tossing things out, and I was over his house one day, and I see all these tapes and they're getting chucked out, and I said, what are these tapes? And he says, a bunch of old junk that nobody wants. And I said, well, so I get home.
I love old junk.
Yeah, this was an unreleased song, so we were
That's
going to use it
amazing.
for an upcoming compilation.
Can
we're
we
working
play
on.
it?
Absolutely.
We can play. You go ahead
Can
and
I
hit
press
it.
play?
And so this was rejected, okay? Listen to how good
know,
this
it's
sounds. And this hasn't been
incredible.
remastered. It is the tape.
The
okay?
tape.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Girl, listen to me, I'm here right now, trying to get through to you.
That's amazing.
Answer.
Great 60s pop
Okay,
music.
you reject this?
That's incredible.
Isn't that amazing? Okay, and that's without any mastering. When this comes out on our next compilation, which will be Vancouver Rocks in the mid-'60s, I will have done a whole bunch of work to this to make it even better.
Well, and this has got to be part of the fun for you guys. I guess any time that music exists in a window, there's so much of it and so much good stuff that just gets that rejection, that doesn't sort of make it where it probably should.
In those days, yes. In the 60s, I mean, you can imagine that the top 10 hits of the Beatles and the Stones and stuff, and somebody sends that their way, and they're,
Yeah, well, and there's limited distribution. There's
Yeah.
just no.
Yeah, and it was all regional as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, so growing up as a Newfoundlander, I knew entirely different music than you would have heard in the West and in Central, and each city had its own sound, you know.
Yeah.
So like this stuff needs to be heard. It needs to be transferred to digital.
It needs to be saved
iTunes.
out of the
Needs to be
garbage
saved.
Yeah,
so that we
exactly.
maintain the history. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
we have a couple of interns here. We always do from high schools.
Right.
We have an intern by the name of Ziggy.
Ziggy, come out here.
Ziggy, come in here.
Come in
So-
here and explain these
Ziggy-
machines to us, Ziggy.
Ziggy, you
Have you ever seen one of these?
This is a robot to me.
Oh, it is kind of a robot. It's a robot.
It's
and
robotic?
before CDs, this was the standard. This
This is your iPod.
Yeah. So
Put some headphones in there and wear that and go for a run.
This is the recording from the recording studio onto CDs and records, as we know it. That's how it starts.
yeah. So when you listen to Zeppelin or any of that great old music, it's
That's what it
from
was
here.
taped on.
Comes off a master
Look at his
tape.
face. He's like,
Wait,
really?
1, 2, 3, 4 old people yelling at poor Ziggy.
Yeah.
You kids are spoiled.
Are you glad you came
You
here?
sound like my parents.
And Ziggy was
Ziggy.
never seen again.
Nice work.
Thanks so much, you
Thank
guys.
you
So where
guys.
can people find out more about Regenerator Records and what you guys are doing?
You can buy them at Neptune and also at Apollo Music, Neptune on Main Street, Apollo in Coquitlam, and also regeneratorrecords.com.
And if people happen to have, these tapes, stuff like that, do you guys like it when people
Yes.
really?
If you're downsizing.
If you're downsizing.
Really, you guys really,
Yeah.
you want to take it and see what's on it?
We want to rescue it. We want to give it a home. We want to preserve it so that it doesn't get tossed out, so that future generations can enjoy our releases. And
Well, if the Stags were any example of the kind of gold you guys are coming up with,
great.
congratulations, really
Can
cool
we play
stuff.
it out to
Let's
break?
it out to
here?
play it out.
Okay, there we go. We're going to take a break, and when we return, another piece of music history is going to be here. The Godfather of Punk, Joe Keithley. Would
now.
you stop dancing
There was
on
no
me?
dirty dancing back then.